Hey, good morning. It's Adam Murphy, Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate here. I just finished having, in my case, a chai with a friend of mine this morning at a local coffee shop down here in Bayview. And I saw this question when I came back to the car. And I don't want to answer this question specifically, but kind of what it refers to. I'm talking a lot about economics as part of this campaign and about dominoes of how one thing affects others. But it's very hard to hit on all of the variables, right? We've talked oil and gas and propane and big box stores and game theory and all sorts of things, right? Inflation. And there's always more variables. And it's one of the parts of economics that we have to discuss is how many variables do we really need? Which ones really impact things? And I am rarely ever stating that the single variable that I'm talking about in any of these 3-minute videos is the only variable that matters, right? There are always other things. And I will do everything I can to be better about explaining that. Because I don't want to come off as saying this is the only way, this is the only thing that matters, because that's never the truth. But it's easy to get that perspective or that perception when I'm talking about a particular topic. So for that, I apologize, and I will absolutely do everything I can to be better about it. But also with the understanding that occasionally I'm going to sigh and try to hold back the Midwest sarcasm when of course there are other variables that are involved. And so this was a great example. It was big box stores, and people asked about, well, what about crime? What about snow plowing? What about roads? Right? In this case, what about planning from workplace? And those are great questions, and those are variables that matter. And I'm not trying to imply that they don't. But for politics, here's my challenge, especially as a Senate candidate with 330 million people across the country, is that we have to deal with what I call averages versus anecdotes. We have to deal with the averages. That's how we're going to measure things. But anecdotally, each of you has your own story, right? If we look at COVID, did you get vaccinated? Did you not? Did it affect you? Did it not? Did you get COVID and it was like a cold? Did you get COVID and you were in the hospital, right? Averages versus anecdotes. And the other is yes, no. So many voters ask very deliberate yes, no questions, and they demand a yes, no answer. And oftentimes the answers are much more involved than a simple yes, no, because of all of these variables, because of how all the dominoes fall. And I think it's important for political candidates to try to understand those dominoes, to try to take things a little bit deeper. And so I so very, very appreciate all the questions that you guys are asking and your willingness to engage. It has been absolutely fabulous, and I will try to continue to do everything I can to answer your questions and to learn from you. Thank you so much.